Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. And today our group will be presenting the solution for the assignment 3 for the structural analysis for our group project. And for our first question is we have two span, which is span AC and also span CE. And for the first step is we need to calculate the collapse load by multiplying with 1.7, and we will get 24 kilonewton and 25 kilonewton. And for the first span, it is span AC. And we have three steps, which is bending moment diagram without load, bending moment diagram simply supported with load, and also with superimposed. So at most we have three steps to be counted on. And for the first span is for the bending moment diagram without load, so we have rectangular shape because the MP is just constant from the point A until the point C. And for the second step, bending moment diagram simply supported with load, so we have triangular shape because we have only one load here. And for the third step is we actually impose the first step and also the second step, and we get this shape. And since we have two MP, which is right here and right here, so we have actually two MP. And for this whole height, the total load is 34 kilonewton meter. And when we divide it by the MP, and we actually have the MP, which is 17 kilonewton meter. And for the second span, which is span CE, and like we repeat the previous step, which is the first one is we draw the bending moment diagram without load, and we still have a rectangular shape because we have just constant MP value. And the second step is BMD simply supported with load, and we still have a triangular shape because we only have one point load here. And the third one is we superimpose the first step and the second step, and we will get the shape like this. And still we have two MP because when we impose this shape, we will have the constant shape, which is 1 MP here and 1 MP here. So we have 2 MP, and the whole height is 25.5 kilonewton meter. And we divide it by 2, and we will get 12.75 kilonewton meter. And by comparing the previous MP and the latest MP, we will pick the highest MP value, which is 7 kilonewton meter to be our critical value. So that's it.
Today I will explain to you about question number 1 for kinematic solution method. So first of all, we separate the span into two, ABC and span CDE. First of all, for span ABC, first step we found out where is the plastic moment, which is lies at A, at B, and at C. Okay, here we can create an equation. The delta equal to 2 theta equal to 2 beta, and then we get it as theta equal to beta. And after that, we form an equation, an equilibrium equation, internal work done equal to external work done. After that, we apply everything into this, we get this equation. And then for this equation, we will replace, we can choose to replace theta or beta. For here, I choose to replace the beta, and I got an equation full of theta. And then we create it, and we got the plastic moment equal to 17.0 kilonewton meter.
Go.
Okay, for the next span, for span CDE, the same step, find the plastic moment, which is lies at point D, and at point E. After we found the plastic moment, then we equate the same for delta equal to delta and equal to 2 beta, and we get as delta equal to beta. And after that, we form an equation of internal work done equal to external work done. And for this, we just put it up in this equation, and we got this equation. And after that, same as before, for theta or beta, we choose either one and we make an equation full of theta. And after that, calculate, and we got the plastic moment for span CDE is equal to 12.75 kilonewton meter. And we have, and for here we have two plastic moment, and the critical value for plastic moment, of course we have to choose the higher one, which is 17.0 kilonewton meter. That's all for kinematic.
Right now, I will explain you question 2, the solution using static method. Okay. For the first step, we must find and calculate the collapse load. We must multiply the load multiplied by the lambda. So this is the collapse load. Then, as usual, we must separate two span, since there are two span in the question. And for the first span SC, the first step, we must draw the BMD without load. And this is the diagram for BMD without load. As you can see, there's only plastic moment in point C, because at point A, there are no hinge, since it is pin at the end of the span. Then we move on to the second step, that is BMD simply supported with load. So this is the diagram, triangle. This is actually a BMD diagram that we learned from previous years. And this is the moment that we calculated. Okay, next. The next step is superimpose. We superimpose the both diagram, BMD without load and BMD with load, and we will get this diagram. So, as you can see here, please note that there's 1 MP plastic moment here and 0.5 plastic moment here. And when we total up, there's 1.5 plastic moment. So, we equal it to the moment that we have calculated, and so the plastic moment is 22.67 kilonewton meter. So we move on to the second span, which is span CE. As the previous span, we do the same thing. First, BMD without load. Since there are no hinge in point E, so there will be no plastic moment. So there's only plastic moment at point C. Then bending moment diagram simply supported beam with load. As a previous span, diagram is triangle and the moment is 25.5 kilonewton per meter. And then the next step is we superimpose both diagram bending without load and MD with load. Then we will get this diagram right here. And noted that there's one plastic moment right here and 0.5 plastic moment right here, and when we add up both plastic moment, we will get 1.5 MP, and we equal it with the moment that we have calculated just now, and the plastic moment for span CE is 17 kilonewton per meter. The critical value of plastic moment is the higher one. So the plastic moment is higher in span SC. So the plastic moment is 22.67 kilonewton meter.
The next method, kinematic method for span AC, A to C. So it is the diagram you like. And then we have the collapse load 24 kilonewton and 2 meter and 2 meter. So we have theta and beta here, and deflection here, and here theta plus beta. So we can see the relationship between the deflection and the theta and beta. This. So lastly, we can get theta equal to beta. And then the formula is total of internal moment equal to external. So for internal, we will have to multiply the moment with the deflection angle. So for here we have to multiply MP with beta, and here MP with theta plus beta, and equal to external, that is the load times the deflection. So we have to substitute whatever it is that you like, beta or theta, and we can get it like this. And finally, we can obtain the MP is equal to 22.67 kN/meter.
Go.
So we move on to the next span, that is span CDE. And then we have MP at point C and point D. Then the collapsor is 35.5 kN. Then we can see the theta, beta, theta plus beta, and deflection. So the relationship between the deflection and the angle is like this: theta equal to beta. And then the internal equal to external. The equation is like this: MP theta plus MP theta plus theta. We can substitute beta with theta like this, and then we can obtain the MP is equal to 17 kN/meter. So we have two different MP value here. So for the critical value of MP, we will have to pick the highest one. It is 22.67 kN/meter, and that is the critical value of MP.
For each span, we have to split it into 3 members. So for span AB, because the loading is in UDL, so we have to solve it using section method. So by splitting it into 2, you have to solve it using static calculation, whereby the moment at A and moment at B is equal to 0, which is here. So after solving it, you will gain this equation, then you will equate it here. So after you solving this, you will find the value of x, which is the unknown that you will get here. So after that, you will get this answer. Okay, for span DE static method, we are dividing it into 2 cases, which is this one, 51 kN and 25.5 kN. So for case 1, the BMD without load is this, and then we will have to draw BMD with load, which is this, after you complete the essay. Then the next step is for you to superimpose step 4 and step 5, which is you have to superimpose the BMD. So you get this one. Then by summing all the MP here, you will get the MP, which is equal to 30 kN, which is the moment. For case 2, same step, BMD without load, you have to draw it. Then BMD with load. Then you superimpose the BMD from step 4 and step 5, you will get this. By summing all this, you will get MP is equal to 22.67. For the last span EG, the same method that you use as the last 2 span. For the 4th step, then you will have to construct a BMD without loading. So this is how the BMD is. And then the next step, you have to construct a BMD with load. With load means up here there is a loading, which is 34 kN. So the last step is for you to superimpose the BMD without load and with load. So this is the outcome. And then you have to calculate
static calculation of here, you sum all the MP equating to the moment here. So you will obtain this equation. Therefore, the MP is 22.67 kilonewton per meter. So based on all span, we have critical MP of 30 kilonewton per meter. So next method is kinematic methods. So each span has their own diagram. So for span AB, it's this one. So from this diagram, the location of hinge is here, and this is the deflection. So from the diagram, you have to construct this formula. Deflection is equal to 2.5, which is the distance of this end, which is A to here, which is 2.58 times by theta, and then it's equal to 3.42 from this point to B, 3.42 times by beta. So you will get this formula, and then from this formula you have to also define the delta, which is defined by beta. So from this diagram as well, you have to construct another equation in which summation internal work done is equal to summation of external work done. So 2mp times by theta plus beta, which is this, times by this, plus by 1.5 mp beta, which is this. This n is excluded because that is not where the position of hinge is located. So this is the internal work done is equal to the external work done, in which the force acting downward towards the beam times by deflection is divided by 2. So from this formula, you will have to substitute both the deflection and theta into the formula in which you will solve. So the final MP that you will get after solving this whole equation is 28.36 kilonewton per meter. So for span BE, again we have to divide it into two cases, because at span BE there is two forces acting on it, which is 51 kilonewton and 25.5 kilonewton. So case 1, so this is case 1. You have to again construct the plastic moment diagram, in which we have to focus more on delta 1, where is 51 kilonewton is. So the location of hinge is both at B and E. From the plastic moment diagram, you have to define delta 1 and delta 2, in which delta 1 is equal to 2 delta and 4 beta. Then you have to solve it again, so that theta is equal to 2 beta. So for delta 2, which is the deflection at here, 25.5 kilonewton, is equal to 2 beta. So after defining delta 1 and delta 2, you have to construct this equation, in which again from the last cases, the same thing, internal work done is equal to external work done. So 1.5 mp theta, which is here, 1.5 mp times by theta plus by mp times by beta. So in this case, it is the location of the hinge where it is sunk. And then the last thing you have to add is 1.5 beta mp times by theta plus beta, which is here. So again, this is the internal work done. So it is equal to external work done, in which 51 is times by delta 1 plus by 25.5 here, the force, times by delta 2. So this is the overall, this part is the overall equation. So after that, you have to substitute delta 1 and delta 2 that you have defined to this equation, and then you have to solve it. So the MP that you will get for this span is 25.5 kilonewton per meter. So this is span BE, and in this case, this is case 2, whereby we are focusing on 25.5 kilonewton, which is another force that is acting on the beam. So the plastic moment diagram is like this, whereby the deflection at 2 is the main part that we focus. So from this plastic moment diagram, the location of hinge is here, whereby this one is 1.5 MP and this is MP, 1 MP. So from this diagram, we define what is delta 2, which is the deflection 2. So delta 2 is equal to 2 beta and also equal to 4 beta. So, and then we equate beta is equal to 2 theta, sorry. And then you have to also define deflection 1, which is also equal to 2 theta. So after you define delta 2 and delta 1, you have to make the same equation, which is summation of internal work done is equal to summation of external work done. So summation of internal work done, it is equal to 1.5 theta, which is here, 1.5 theta, plus by 1 MP beta, which is here, 1 MP beta, and then add to plus by 1.5 MP times by theta plus beta. So this point is here. And then after you do the first part, which is this part is now, you have to do this one as well, the summation of external work done, which is equal to 51 times by delta 1 plus by 25.5 times by delta 2. So after you done this part, you will then substitute this formula, that this equation that you just defined, into this part. So after you solve it, you will get this equation, and then you have to solve MP. So for this case too, the MP is 25.5 kilonewton per meter. So the last part is span EG. So for span EG, this is the plastic moment diagram, whereby the location of hinge is here at E, and there is no hinge at G. So from this diagram, you have to define deflection, which is the delta. So the delta is equal to 2 theta, delta is equal to 2 theta, and it is equal to 2 beta, and then theta is equal to beta. So after you define delta, you have to form this equation again from the last case. So summation of internal work done is equal to summation of external work done. So summation of internal work done, MP times by theta is here, plus by MP times by theta plus beta, which is here, and then is equal to the external work done, which is 34 delta. So after you define this equation from this formula, you have to substitute delta that you just defined into this equation. Then you will solve it, and then you will get this equation. Solve MP. So the MP for this span is 30 kilonewton. So overall, from all the span AB, BE and EG, The critical MP is 30 Newton. Thank you.
Okay, so this is question 4 regarding static methods. So let's look at span ABC first. So what we have here is we separate into two regions. One's like this, with X meter. Another one will be at the other side with the extra load. So here we separate it and assume that the moment is turning in this direction. So we'll get the moment here into this equation. Now keep in mind, keep it first, don't leave it behind. This is going to be useful. Then we'll analyze this part and you calculate the at this point, at point C, we'll calculate the moment, assuming that it's turning like this, it will be a positive moment. So blah blah blah, you're done until the point, you get another equation. So this is equation 2. So combine equation 1 here and equation 2 here. So we get a beautiful quadratic equation right here to find our x value here. So once you have done all those calculations, you will get a positive 3.725. Don't take the negative. Once you get the value of x, insert it back into equation 1, you get the value here, 170.94 kilonewton per meter. So it's done. So right now we'll move on to span CDE. So this is the three-point diagram of span CDE. And here you have to be mindful, you have to look for the support reactions at C and E. This will be useful later on. So let's here we will draw a load diagram. So this without load, it should be rectangular, and with load, you should get a triangle. And this is not accurate, but you get a rough idea of it. 2 meter here and 4 meter here. So once you know it, and you find the maximum moment at this point. With that node, right now you superimpose both of these into this diagram. So once you got it, make the equation. MP is 1.5 MP plus 1.5 MP here, so it equals to the maximum 68. So you find your value of plastic moment by dividing 68 with the total of the plastic moment here. 68 divided by 3, you get your value 22.67. So last part, we'll move on to span EF. So this is a three-point diagram, rough idea of the span. There's not much to calculate. There's not much to calculate. You just no difficult methods to do it. Just analyze it statically. So here we go. Summation moment at E, this age will be equals to 0. Will be equals to load here 25.5 times the distance minus the moment at HE. So once you have all these equations, move on. 1.5 AP equals to 25.5 times 2 should be 51. And you get your value should be 34 kilonewton per meter. 34 kilonewton meter. 34. So based on all of our calculations, we should find out that the critical plastic moment should be at around span A, B and C, which is plastic moment equals to 117.94 kilonewton meter.
So right now I would like to show you the solution for the question number 4 by using kinematic method. Firstly, we have to divide the span into 3, span ABC, span CDE and span EF. First, for the span ABC, we can draw like this, like a triangular shape, but there's a difference in length 3.725 meter is the x value that we gain from the static method. After that, we can identify the moment where it occurs. Here it occurs at this point and this point. Notice that there is two load here, so we have to be careful. We have to use delta 1 and delta 2. By using the Pythagoras theorem, we can make a relationship between the theta and beta. From here we can get the beta is equal to 0.871 theta. After that we can calculate the moment by using the equilibrium of internal work done equal to external work done. So we have only 2 points here, so the calculation should be like this: 2 moment alpha plus beta plus 1.5 moment beta, and then the load right here, this one is a UDL. So when the load is UDL, so we have to be very careful because the load have to be divided into 2, with 2. So after that, we substitute the value of beta with the value of theta. So by using calculator, finally we can get this one, 5.05 theta moment equal to 505.44 theta. And after that, we can get the moment is equal to 1.17.91 kilonewton meter. Next, for span CDE, there is only one load here, and it is a point load. So we can do the drawing like this. The length from point C to the load is 2 meter, and from point D to P is 4 meter. And then we put here theta and beta, and this one is theta plus beta. The load here is only 1, so we put it delta 1. We can get from using Pythagoras theorem also, we can get this relationship, which is beta is equal to 0.5 theta. And then we use this formula, we can get this one, 1.5 moment theta plus 1.5 moment theta plus beta, theta plus beta, and then 1.5 moment beta equal to 51 delta 1. Then we substitute the value of beta with 0.5 theta, and then we can summarize, we can get 4.5 theta moment equal to 102 theta, and the moment is 22.67 kilometer. Span EF, and we can draw the span like this. There's only theta here because there is the point exists. So here we can see that the MP only happen here and not here, because this part, this is a hangover, so there is no point of moment. Then we can relate the equation delta 1 equal to 2 theta, and then by using this formula we can get 1.5 moment delta equal to 25.5 delta 1. And then from using calculator we can get the moment equal to 34 kilonewton meter. So the critical value for the question number 4 is that MP is equal to 170.91 kilonewton per meter.